the end of every school year, my university would throw a concert with some of the most esteemed names in music. So at the end of my freshman year, they hired NLE Choppa to perform his biggest hit, Slut Me Out.
Can you sing an NLE Choppa lyric?
Me out. Do you know any lyrics from any of their songs?
Me out.
Now, as tempted as I was to get myself slutted the hell out, my friend and I decided to watch the 1959 movie The Music Man instead, and we had an amazing night.
76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand.
But everybody who found out we did this was appalled. Casey, how could you miss out on the great NLE Choppa for some movie that came out 60 years ago?
I'ma get money no matter the cost. Having some water, I'm having some boats. Got that dope, think that's your loss. He's a worker and I am a boss. Little baby, you.
Similarly, yesterday I was talking about how much I love Billy Joel when my friend turns to me and goes, Casey, nobody cares about Billy Joel unless they're 200 years old. You should just be normal and listen to Charlie XCX and Sexy Red like the rest of us. And I get attacked all the time for referencing Johnny Cash or quoting G.K. Chesterton. People tell me, Casey, get with the times. You should only cite like Colleen Hoover or Hassan Piker because they're relevant now. One final example, someone asked me who my favorite stand-up comedians were, and I mentioned like George Carlin and Tom Lehrer and Robin Williams, and they were like, whoa, all those people are dead. Yeah, that's true. You're not breaking this news to me. I should have responded, what? You're kidding! And that's why I needed to make this video, because everyone around me has become a chronological supremacist, believing that the best movies, the best music, the best ideas have to have emerged in like the last decade, at the most. 2016 is still pushing it, that's still pretty old in their book. And I hate chronological supremacy. I think it is a cancer that destroys the most important part of who we are as human beings. So let me first explain why the hateful ideology of chronological supremacy arose, and then why it's so dangerous. When Charles Darwin discovered evolution, that apes gradually progress into human beings, the Western world was suddenly split in half. Half of America thought evolution was a satanic lie, and the other half thought it was the deepest truth of the universe. This half thought not only do species evolve, that's old news, but societies evolve. People evolve, continually getting better and better until you reach the Nietzschean Ubermensch. This is the origin of what's called social Darwinism and eugenics. The thinking goes that if nature gradually improves human beings, why don't we help speed the process up? Similarly, American history is largely taught as the gradual evolution of social progress, from abolitionism to civil rights to feminism. And so it's no surprise that the leaders of those aforementioned reform movements appealed to evolution. Here's a quote from progressive President Woodrow Wilson. Progressives desire permission to interpret the Constitution according to the Darwinian principle. Education reformer John Dewey wrote in his essay, The Influence of Darwin on Philosophy, that the popular understanding of evolution transformed the average citizen's conception of the good. Before Darwin, people thought good things came from an unchanging ideal. The best art could come from any age, and it would still be the best art in every age. Good doesn't change. What is good today would have been good 1,000 years ago and will be good 1,000 years from now. The discovery of evolution completely flipped this idea. People began to think that just like species, everything progresses to get a little better over time. Dewey wrote that the conceptions that had reigned in the philosophy of nature and knowledge for 2,000 years, the conceptions that had become the familiar furniture of the mind, rested on the assumption of the superiority of the fixed and final. They rested upon treating change as a sign of defect. But in treating humanity that had previously been regarded as a fixed good and giving it a progressive evolutionary origin in the origin of species, Darwin introduced a mode of thinking that uprooted all previous morals, politics, and religion. And today, you have authors like Yuval Harari arguing that humans always continuously evolve for the better, which will soon culminate in humans being not just Homo sapiens, but Homo deuses, human gods. And this social Darwinism has affected every aspect of life, including what I'm making this video about, People think music, movies, and philosophy get better over time like a law of nature. The more recent they are, the more relevant they are. And social media has kicked this into overdrive. On YouTube or Instagram, you're always trying to make a video about the current scandal or trending artist. If people try to make a video about the Hank Green AI scandal, it already feels out of date because people will have just moved on to the Lindsay Clancy trial. We're constantly refreshing our TikTok feeds for something new, for a new post, for a new video, which is us affirming that newer is better. And so all this has made a world where we do not judge movies, music, or writing on how good they are in a vacuum, but on how new and relevant they are. We have all become chronological supremacists, and here's why I think that is so terrible. How many authors or musicians or movies do you love? Maybe every Noah Kahn song makes you cry, or reading Jeanette McCurdy's memoir helped you understand your own abuse. Maybe you would always listen to the Beatles with your dad, and now that he's passed, Here Comes the Sun makes you think of your time with him. I know when my friend passed, one of our friends put up an Instagram post remembering him, featuring Here Comes the Sun, because that was his favorite song. And now every time I hear Here Comes the Sun, I think of him. The point is that it is so rare and special to find art that you love. And so anything that limits that is terrible. There have been so many good songs and TV shows throughout time that if I could only watch the shows that were being written today, I would miss out on 95% of the good ones, just statistically speaking. The same way I would if I only watched shows made before 1960. That's why you can see behind me I have one of my favorite TV shows, Better Call Saul, which came out a couple years ago. One of my favorite plays, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof from the 1940s. One of my favorite singers, Hank Williams from the 30s. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is from the 70s. The Searchers from the 50s. West Wing from the 90s. Marty Robbins from the 60s. And Theodore Roosevelt's poem, The Man in the Arena, from the 1910s. Every one of those things has made me a deeper person. They helped me understand myself and other people so much better. For example, my grandfather cheated on my grandmother with her best friend and then married that best friend. And because of that, my grandma spent the last 25 years of her life sulking in resentment. She never remarried herself. She spent all her energy wishing for the downfall of her ex-husband and his new wife. She wanted nothing more than to outlive them. And in the end, she did. But I didn't quite understand her decision until I read Moby Dick. In Moby Dick, Sea Captain Ahab has his leg chewed off by a sperm whale and spends the rest of his life trying to find and kill that whale. And his quest of vengeance costs him his friends, his sanity, and ultimately his entire ship and the lives of everyone on it because he is so blinded by his hatred for one whale. And that was how my grandma lived. When Herman Melville described Captain Ahab's soul as shut up in the caved trunk of his body, he fed upon the sullen paws of his own gloom. He could have been writing about my grandmother. Similarly, in The Searchers, Ethan Edwards' entire family is killed by Comanche Indians, and he spends the next decade of his life on a murderous revenge quest. His thirst for revenge consumes him so thoroughly that when he discovers his niece was only kidnapped by the Indians and raised as a Comanche herself, he can only see her as one of the people who killed his family. So rather than try to rescue her, he aims his gun at his own niece. By the way, that movie became Star Wars. George Lucas saw that movie, he loved that movie, he wanted to set it in space, and that's just the first Star Wars movie. So to the extent you find any value in human art and expression, why in the world would you limit yourself to an arbitrary slice of it? There's some great music being made today, and there was some great music from the 1980s. You don't have to choose. Stories are how we understand each other and ourselves. If you're not a chronological supremacist, then you might know the story of Don Quixote. Don Quixote was an irrelevant Spanish nobleman who thought he was a brave knight and that windmills were really dragons. So he ends up charging at a windmill that destroys his sword and knocks over his horse. His delusions continue to almost get him killed until he finally accepts reality and gives up knighthood. And that's me. I am Don Quixote. I've struggled a lot with OCD, and when I'm in an obsession, I would constantly think that my next thought is so important that I need to hit the lights 45 times or my family's gonna die. Or if I don't think a certain thing, then I'm a terrible person. And these delusions have me chasing my thoughts in my head like they're dragons when they're really windmills. And living so far from reality like that can ruin my life the same way it ruined Don Quixote's. Literature and music demonstrate how we're not alone on the deepest spiritual level and how we can best handle the deepest problems in life. And there's little more valuable than that. Societies have survived without science or central governments, but no society in any part of recorded history has ever survived without telling stories. And we all know this. The civil rights movement didn't say, hey, did you know this many black people were killed every year? They They told the story of Emmett Till. Prohibitionists didn't give statistics on alcohol. They told the story of individual women beaten by their drunk husbands. Why do we fight so bitterly, whether George Washington was a hero or a villain? Or modern figures like Malcolm X or even Charlie Kirk? Because both sides know that the story of who someone is and what they stand for is everything. We don't do something because we've calculated that it's good. We do something because we see someone we admire do something and we call it good. So stories are literally the most core thing to our identity. And I don't want to base my story on NLE Choppa or Sexy Red. I'd rather my stories be the Eagles and Bob Dylan and Arthur Miller and Stand By Me and Sam Cooke. Now, let me respond to the most common objection I get from those chronological supremacists. They say, Casey, what about monoculture? Casey, you love the monoculture. If you listen to music made before 2017, how will you be able to sing along with everyone? And I have 3 responses. The first one is, you're right. Because the modern world is filled with chronological supremacists, I will be able to talk to fewer people about Merle Haggard than Luke Bryan. However, my second response is this isn't the win you think it is. Social media has so fractured the modern world that there isn't that much monoculture I'm missing out on. And let me put my cash where my ass is. I don't think, outside of Olivia Rodrigo, there is one modern pop culture figure that 100% of my undergraduate classmates would know. Maybe Greta Thunberg. I can't think of anybody else. Honestly, Charlie Kirk. Greta Thunberg, Charlie Kirk, and Olivia Rodrigo would be the only 3 people that 100% of the kids at my school would know. So unless you want to have a very, very strange set of 3 conversations, it's a fool's errand to just listen to the things everybody will know, because no one knows everything anymore. 30 years ago, there might have been 100 modern pop culture figures everyone on a campus would know. But my final response is that even though you do lose something by not being able to join the NLE Choppa concert, you gain something else by joining a smaller group who really cares about good human stories, no matter when they come from. We all know the guy who loves an underground band and then hates when they go mainstream. Why? Because when that band was underground, he felt like he was part of a secret that only he and his friends knew. And in the same way, there's a joy of not doing what everybody else is doing. Watching amazing movies or listening to songs that your acquaintances don't even know exist. It's like finding a secret treasure map. It wouldn't be a secret treasure if everybody had it. And everything I've said so far is basically just the warning of Brave New World. Brave New World was sort of the first future dystopian novel, before Hunger Games, before 1984. And in that book, characters refused to read Shakespeare for one reason. He's old. Quote, "We haven't any use for old things here," the controller explained. "Even when they're beautiful?" the savage asked. The controller responded, "Particularly when they're beautiful. Beauty's attractive, and we don't want people to be attracted by old things. We want them to like the new ones. We've sacrificed high art for art that doesn't mean anything, but makes our population feel numb, so they're easy to control." And yeah, that's another good point. If you are never stirred by anything, if no movie moves you deeply, you'll be much easier to control, because as soon as culture changes, you'll change with them. If you think the newest thing is inherently the best thing, you'll overlook unspeakable tyranny. Do you know how the Nazis rose to power? The radio. In a lot of ways, movies are better today. They have better effects, and sometimes you have really vulnerable character studies, like in The Drama or Lady Bird. But in a lot of other ways, older movies are better. One obvious way is kids' movies. It didn't have as much stimulation as modern-day Cocomelon does. The caption says, "After showing my kids calmer, older movies, they slept longer and fought with me less." This mom had the same experience. Back when animated movies were hand-drawn and not made with AI, like apparently they're doing now, that's an added benefit. If you listen to things before 2022, there's no worry that it's made from AI. Older movies in general could just be more creative because our attention spans were longer. People wouldn't walk out of the theater if the first 10 seconds weren't stimulating enough. And I think we've all seen that from movies to music to architecture, the modern world has become so monotonous and the same because we prioritize efficiency over artistic expression. somehow, it seems like there are at least a couple people in my generation who agree with me. Already so strange to me. Like, I'm glad you were raised on your dad's music, I guess, but why does it have to be your dad's music? We have access to all music ever. We don't need a parent to happen to show us the hits. We can listen to the best songs with our own friends. I learn old songs from my friend all the time. He recently showed me the band 1975 that I've been super into.
Just as long as you stand by me.
Someone said, what this song is giving. It can be kind of funny, though, when you listen to older songs around a boomer. They're always so impressed.
Hey, when you make me feel
what you know about this?
What you mean? Everybody know this song.
What you know about this? What you know about this? What you know about this? What do you know?
Someone said they act like it's their song. My dad was flabbergasted when I knew Copacabana. God. The bar is in hell. My teacher once said, here's a song you guys won't know, and she played Mr. Brightside. Are we serious right now?
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine.
And if you ever listen to an older song on YouTube, you know the comments are all like this.
I used to listen to this song every day with my father, and now he's dead. Take me back to when this song came out. I want to go back! Nowadays, it's just auto-tune and computer music. Not like then. They played guitars. If you remember this song, you're not old. You're just high-quality vintage. No cell phones back then. Just art and human connection type of music. I'm 17 and I like this kind of music. No one at my school likes good music like me.
Don't forget, who's here in insert random year? Someone said, I need this playlist. This girl is still listening to Journey.
A singer in a smoky room.
Speaking of Journey, like, I feel Glee had it right. Like, they would play classic rock and songs on the radio. They never, like, differentiated, oh, this is an old song. This is so weird that we're doing an old song.
25% show tunes, 25% hip-hop, 25% classic rock.
100% gay.
They had enough weirdness on that show.
What's the capital of Ohio? Brittany.
Oh.
What? Do you even know who the president is?
Well, I am.
Terrorists. Mexicans. Terrorists. Ants. Mexican terrorist ants.
But someone pointed out that more and more of Gen Z is starting to listen to old songs, while ironically, baby boomers are being tricked into listening to new AI songs. Someone said 90% of my playlist was made before I was born. But why is that noteworthy? 90% of good songs were made before you were born, statistically speaking. And this proves my point. This Zoomer grew up that they're so grateful they grew up with original movies instead of all the remakes from today.
You had your dreams, I had mine. You had your fears at the show. You picked the best of both worlds. Mix it all together.
Girls like boys like me.
I know what boys like me.
But the new generation doesn't have to grow up with remakes. The original movies still exist. It's their choice or their parents' choice to show them the better movies. Because they still bang.
Don't stop the music. Ride fast like a bullet.
Listen to why this guy likes older movies.
Why do young men love old movies more than modern ones? It's because men in those movies had presence. They weren't superheroes, they weren't fools, they were just men.
Yeah, he's touching on something really fascinating there. The masculine archetypes of like the 50s through the 70s were very reserved, modest men. Like you could think of James Bond in the 60s, or Cary Grant, or Clark Gable. But then after the feminist movement in the 80s, men suddenly felt like they needed to assert how masculine and different they were from women. And that's why you have Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, these huge bodybuilders, take over the masculine archetype in the 80s. Although I will acknowledge one weird thing about watching older movies is wondering if any of the actors are still alive.
Oh, that old dude is definitely dead. I wonder if he's dead. He's not dead. Holy shit. 97 years old. Well, he's about to be dead. Dead. Holy shit, he's dead. Yeah, dead. I wonder if she's dead. Dead. Yep, 2008. She's been dead since 2008. Golly.
Or being able to recognize every 80s movie trope.
But Connie, it's senior skip day. That's when everybody fucks. Hey Tanya, I know you're a freshman and everything's new to you and you're a new student here in general, but it's kind of a Wakeland Forest tradition to throw the new oncoming cheerleader squad freshmen into a vat of fucking acid and watch them burn alive as a prank.
No, Patricia, it's not right. I, a 45-year-old gym coach and your health teacher, should no longer have relations with you because, well, I'm a married man with kids and you're a 16-year-old cheerleader, and we wouldn't want to break Ross's heart. Now, stop those crocodile tears. I'll still see you at the pep rally. Go Wildcats.
Mr. Johnson is such a hard knuckle. I mean, we're making good money, 25 cents an hour, but I don't know. I say we do something to set him straight. Maybe we kidnap his entire family and throw him in the trunk of a car and run the car over a bridge. Maybe that would get him. Maybe then we would see a pay raise at this bowling alley that we work at. And I'm 13.
And whatever you listen to, the music you listen to when you're young makes an irrevocable impact on your mind.
Music peaked when I was 15 years old.
You know, there is an actual psychological reason why the music from your teens and early 20s is gonna be your favorite and like stick with you forever. Between the ages of 12 and 22, your brain is going through rapid growth, and it basically wires all the music you listen to up there permanently. Your neural pathways connect all these heightened emotions that you're feeling because of hormones to your favorite songs. Make sure that you're listening to as much music as you can during this time because you'll be setting yourself up for some super strong lifelong nostalgia.
And I do not hate to say, this is literally me.
You heard that new song?
No.
Is there?
Someone said, do not come in my car expecting to hear anything made after 2009. Wait, 2009? Does that mean you can't listen to any Glee cast covers?
Open Gangnam Style.
Another sign that my generation yearns for real songs with heart that we don't have anymore is because old songs way disproportionately go viral on TikTok.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. I just wanna be the one you love. Fly me to the moon.
Someone said I knew all these songs before TikTok. I like you, Kayla. This girl gets it too.
And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again.
And this girl explains it perfectly.
Eat zucchini, eat zucchini. But like Minnesota, hotter than a fever.
Ooh, got me thinking she's so cool.
Boba tea.
Fried chicken. Party in the Hollywood Hills.
Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. SpongeBob, big guy, pants okay.
Very true. Someone said pop music is just brain rot now. Yeah. Also, movies and music are like the one thing that can sort of bypass reason and get into our minds. A lot of studies have found that depending on what music you just listen to, you'll actually act differently. Whenever I have a scene where I have to cry, I'm always listening, this is so embarrassing, to like the final song in Hamilton. The rest of the cast always makes fun of me. But hey, it gets me into that mindset. And for movies, I know so many people who have like changed their personality after watching a movie. And I personally think that the message of older music and movies is usually better than modern ones. There are definitely exceptions, but most songs today are about, well, slutting it out. In my video essays and commentary, I really try to give different takes from what you'd see from like other video commentators. And I mean, you can be the judge if I actually achieve that, but if I do, then it's because I read older authors who aren't repeating the same talking points as everybody else. Instead, reading people who aren't like currently on TikTok, I can really get a deeper look at modern manifestations of ancient problems by seeing how they dealt with their version of whatever we're dealing with today. Like there's a palpable innocence to older movies that my generation doesn't see.
All right. Okay, talk. Now you have nothing to say. No.
I don't really like you as much when you do that.
older movies are good. Like, they're funny.
This is a joke, right? This is a joke. Because, I totally know.
Some people go even further than me, though, and they, like, buy an old TV. That's fine. I wouldn't recommend it.
Trying to hold that bay horse back. Oh, do not be. Bound to run all night, bound to run all day. I bet my money on a bobtail nag. Somebody bet on the bay. Well, a blind horse fell in a big mud hole.
But I get it when modern kids shows sound like this. Not that I would know.
Hey, you guys want to have a foot fight?
Oh, God.
Wait, let's put peanut butter on our toes.
Oh, my God. How did we not notice any of this?
I got an idea. Let's crack an egg on my foot.
Oh, God, no.
Hi, I'm Cat. I'm going to put my toe in my mouth.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to throw up.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to throw up. That's disgusting.
Eradicated.
Because really, I want as many moments like this as possible. Rather than a bland nothing.
Why have people looked the same for the last 20 years? Like, if you go back and watch the first episode of The Office, that was filmed in 2004, you don't look at them and say, oh my gosh, look at those hairstyles and those clothes. But if you went back to any previous decade, you would. Like, 1970s guy is a Halloween costume you can get on Amazon right now with the bell bottoms and the perm. If a character showed up in a movie set in the 1980s dressed like that, you would think they were in a Halloween costume, and that's just 10 years later. And if you're going to say, well, yeah, but that's movies, that's not realistic, I am telling you, when I was growing up in the 1980s, I remember looking in a photo album of my parents from 10 years before, from the 1970s, and all of us just laughing our heads off at the outfits and the hair. And you can go by decade. If you ask somebody my age to visualize the 1950s, we will close our eyes and picture something like this. Then if you ask us to picture the 1960s, you will get something radically different. If you were to switch the two, they would look like they were on the wrong planet. And again, these are gaps of just a decade. It used to be that you would have TV shows that were about an era 20 years before, like Happy Days was made in the 1970s and was about the 1950s, and it was about a totally different world. The Wonder Years, the same thing. It was in the 1980s and made about the 1960s, about this bygone era. Can you imagine somebody doing a show today about the bygone era of 2003? I don't even think they would have to make costumes that are period accurate. This is from 2003.
Because there is so much extraordinary music from every time and every genre.
Real music lovers listen to every genre. People ask me, what music do you like? What are you listening to? And my answer is, I don't know. If it sounds good, I'm adding it to the playlist. So don't ask me what my favorite music is. One day I'm listening to rock, the next day I'm listening to pop, and then I'm listening to some throwback. I'll even listen to some EDM and some house music. I'll listen to everything.
This guy's lamenting that he didn't grow up with better music, but that music still exists. You can stream it right now.
Let me tell you about a place somewhere up a New York way. And I know the night is fading, and I know the time's gonna.
And I don't mean you have to become like a pretentious film snob who says, oh, my favorite movie is this obscure French film from 1932 by Jacques-Luc.
If I had to pick a favorite movie, I don't know, probably Avengers Endgame. I don't really watch many movies, but my favorite is this obscure Eastern European silent black and white horror film from 1930 that's a metaphor for capitalism and imperialism and basically anything that ends with an ism. Cars 2. Life-changing.
And the beauty of art is you can discern its meaning for yourself. You don't have to just accept what people think about it.
Yes!
Like, was Fletcher Reed a hero or a villain? Was Brad Pitt wrong at the end of 7 or not? Is Hamlet losing his mind or is he the only one keeping it? And I ask, please, can we all give up our chronological supremacy now? Because pretty soon, we'll all wish that we had much sooner.
Hi, I'd like to see a movie, please. Okay, great. Would you like that regular or organic? What's the difference? Well, a regular movie is one made entirely by AI, and an organic movie is one made entirely by human beings. Okay, I'll take an organic movie then. Okay, that'll be $1,000. Wait, what? Why? That's so much money. Well, movies made by people cost a lot more money to make now, and because not many people can afford to see them, obviously the price is going up. But a regular movie, a movie made by AI, doesn't cost that much to make, so it doesn't cost that much to see, which is about $5 a ticket. Fine, I'll take a regular movie then. Awesome. And would you like that with ads or ad-free? Oh my god, what's the difference? With ads, it's $5. Without ads, it's $100. Okay, I'll take a regular movie with ads. Please.
The 3 for me, only at Chili's. Get you a bottomless drink, bottomless chips and salsa, an entree like the cheeseburger and fries, the chicken bacon bread.
Yeah, and the chronological supremacist will be like, oh, well, this is the trending movie, so if it's all AI slop, that's what I gotta slop on up. Instead of slut it up, NLE Chaba will be rapping to slop it up. Also, reading classic literature literally rewires your brain. Probably does whatever the opposite TikTok does.
Research shows that reading classic literature rewires your brain more than basic self-help books. The key is that these classic books don't give you answers, they make your brain work to find them, which builds much stronger thinking skills. If you're looking for some books, first try Crime and Punishment. This makes you think through really complicated moral questions without giving you easy answers. Second is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This shows you how insecurity makes you easy to control and teaches you to trust yourself, even when everyone else seems more confident.
But maybe you think I'm wrong, and you think Sexy Red is much better than Kenny Rogers. I'll respond to every comment I can, including from you chronological supremacists, so let me know what you think. And I don't do very many sponsorships on this channel, so I depend a lot on our patrons, so thank you to everyone who has joined on Patreon. Thank you to Bob Eric, I'm Rasmus, Kitty Master, Jake, Kendall, Leah, Go Back, Avery, Beth, Love, Wendy, Pine, Eli, Sylvie, Caroline, Alex, Planet, Zach, Oz, Neptune, Coco, Drake, C, Jenny, Best, Michael, Jay, Saul, Sonder, Kelly, Dylan, Brett, Ari, V, Guy, Bond, Doge, Land, Eden, Job, Angel, Rachel, Ariel, Viper, Ava, Alex, Comfort, Puffy, Marshall, Christina, Brady, Odell, Jackson, Ellen, Caroline, Woody, Kelp, Deanna, Reed, Aaron, Addie, Soka, Knight, Sears, Ellen, Random, and welcome to our newest patron, Ms. Lemon, Rebecca the Great, Simachil, and Aaron M. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'm not sure how many more names I'll be able to fit in our end of the video wrap, so if you want to be mentioned at the end of our videos, make sure to join Patreon. I'm gonna go head over to chat with our Patreons about my thoughts on this video now.